Sorry, I'm a little late. I'm a little bit late. I was trying to move stuff around to do my setup inside because it's really hot outside and I just was not in the mood to try to set up outside. But I wanted to make sure that I had all my stuff, including the pattern and the start of my water lilies scarf, which is what this episode is all about. So my live video today will be again focusing on the water lily scarf knit along, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit because I do want to remind you that it is still Year of Self-Care. So if you haven't yet posted this month, go make your post. I went ahead and I picked a winner this month and I had very, very few entries. I had less than 10 entries. So, you know, the odds are pretty good that if you post, you might win something. Anyway, and I've already contacted the winner this month. So if you don't have a message in your Instagram inbox, you weren't the winner. So sorry. Anyway, hey Bev. So, Bev, you should totally do this Year of Self-Care thing and like post to Facebook or Instagram and tag Black Sheep Fiber Emporium. That's the key, is it needs to be public and you have to make sure that you've tagged Black Sheep Fiber Emporium. So just hashtag Black Sheep Fiber Emporium or hashtag BSFE so I can find it. Because I do go search both of those tags every month and I check for all of the different entries every month for the Year of Self-Care. So anyway, this month again is, let's see, August, mindfulness. So it's paying attention to how your body's moving while you craft, remembering to stretch, take a walk, take breaks, change your positions every 20 minutes, take deep breaths, listen to something soothing, and then try changing your crafts and projects and doing something more relaxing for some mindfulness this month. So that's what it's all about. That is the Year of Self-Care this month. And it doesn't really matter what you're working on, it all counts. So long as it's needlework, it totally counts for a Year of Self-Care. And I was really hoping that we'd have a ton of participation in this, but I haven't seen a whole lot of people. So anyway, if you're participating, like sucker your friends into it. We're, you know, more than halfway through the year now, so we're on the countdown. Let's see, September's learn a new technique. October is use the new technique. November is being thankful for our crafting and remembering the people who taught us, encouraged us, or appreciated our crafts. And then December is Bling It. So that is the sparkly month. Anyway, so we still have a lot of fun left in our Year of Self-Care. And if you recall, I was going to make socks this month, but instead, we are doing a lace knit along with my water lilies scarf, which is what we're going to talk about today. And just another quick reminder, if you missed it, it is still Slow Yarn Crawl. We go through September 6th, so you still have time if you haven't participated yet. Wednesday, I don't think I've put the event up yet, but Wednesday we're going to talk about spinning because it is Spin Together in October, and we are going to have a team. We are going to be the Black Sheep Voyagers, and I made a logo and I signed us up as a team, but I have to make our group yet. So if you're a spinner and you want to participate in Spin Together for, and it's just a week of spinning as much as you can, essentially, from October 2nd until October 9th, well, I'd love to have you join us. So that's the short version, but I'd love to have you join us. We have 25 spots on our team. Technically, we have 23 because Tina and I take 2 of those spots, but we have 25 total spots on our team. And anyway, you just spin as much as you can, wheel or spindle or e-spinner, any of them, they all count. Starting October 2nd at noon and ending October 9th at noon, I believe, your local time. And anyway, I am planning to captain the team. Tina's going to be my co-captain, and we're gonna have lots of fun with that. So we're gonna talk about all of that, all of the fun stuff with Spin Together on Wednesday. So that's the plan for Wednesday. Now, next week, I have things planned on Monday and Wednesday, so I haven't put the events up yet. So I thought, if you guys are all on board, maybe I would try to do Tuesday and Thursday instead of Monday and Wednesday next week. If nothing else, I will record the videos and I'll throw them up on Facebook and YouTube so you can still go see them. Because I do want to keep talking about the water lilies KAL. I don't want to skip a week with this if I can avoid it. So anyway, next week we're probably going to do Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm sorry that it's a little bit off schedule, but you know, I don't do that to you guys too much. But I will put the events on Facebook so you know when they're coming up, because I do want to talk about this again. And we had more books come in. It's very exciting for me. I love books. I love books. Like, I love books. I mean, you can see I got some books behind me. I love books. But we got some really fun sashiko stuff in. And embroidery. So first of all, this little sucker, so cute. This is like a pocket embroidery guide. It's great because it fits right in most project bags. It's small and it's tidy. We also got the sashiko version. So I got both of these in. They're very inexpensive. These are $8. $8 each. So, and packed full of so much handy information. There's templates, there's how-tos, awesome little books. In addition to that, we got the sashiko stencils. Yes, if you like doing that. And then we also got in these two sashiko books. I am going to be doing more videos about these. If you haven't been catching them, I am putting them up on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. And they're just little, like, less than 3-minute videos that kind of flip through and show you some of the projects on the pages so you can check out the book before you buy it. So anyway, I will be doing that with all of these as well. But I just wanted to show you that the books came in. All right. Now, having said all of that, I have my little, I don't know what this is, my little arm set up over here so that we can work on our water lily scarf. So that is the next thing here. And let me just move the camera from here over to, let's see, over to here, and I will adjust the arm so that hopefully this works. And all right, so we're going to look at the water lilies scarf now today. I am on row 8 of repeat 6 of my flower chart, so that's where I am. And I wanted to show you some little tips and tricks for working on my water lilies scarf. So we're going to start with stitch markers. Oh, here, you don't need that. That's a little sample from something else. Alrighty, so here we are. Here's my scarf started. And down here, this was my little setup, and I have a tiny little, right here, a teeny tiny little setup triangle for the edging. So teeny tiny little triangle for the setup for the edging. But what I want to show you is that you can count how many repeats you've done of your flower chart by how many of these triangles you have along the edging. So I know that this one was my setup chart, this little tiny one over here. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can clearly see I am in number 6. So if you forget how many repeats you've done in this pattern, it's really easy to count, because for every point that you make along your edging, you've done 1 repeat of your flower chart. So I just wanted to show you guys that that's how you count if you are like kind of confused about how many you've done. That's the easy way to count. So having said that, stitch markers are super helpful for this pattern. They really help me to keep on track. However, when I get to row 8 and row 16, so this row here, well, row 7 and row 15, sorry, because we're on the right side, not the wrong side. When I get to row 7 and row 15, you'll notice that we have these decreases, and these decreases actually jump the stitch marker, which means that when we come to them, we have to move our stitch marker in order to steal stitches from the next section so that we can complete our decreases. So I'm going to show you what that means. We, of course, have our little edging here, our little 4-stitch garter stitch edging that we have established. So we go ahead and knit 3, 4, And then per our chart, we knit this first stitch, and now this one is supposed to be a knit two together, but in order to do that, we actually have to steal the stitch from the next repeat. That's why I say that the rows that say knit 5 at the beginning. What? What's that, Kathy? About what's the rows that say knit 5 at the beginning? Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes, knit 5 at the beginning. Okay, so on these rows, we have to steal stitches. Because this is supposed to be a knit 2 together right here. If you look at our chart, this is a knit 1, knit 2 together. I'm actually on this row, so we're going to go up here. Knit 1, knit 2 together. But you'll notice we only had 2 stitches here. So what that means is we have to steal a stitch from the repeat next to us, next to it. So yes, Kathy, we're going to steal a stitch. We're going to steal a stitch. So in order to do this, a lot of times what I do is I'm going to slip this stitch over, but I'm going to slip it purlwise instead of knitwise so that it stays in the same position. And then I am going to actually try to put my needle in the bottom of this stitch and flip my stitch marker. So I hope that made sense. Let me put it back in position and I'll show you one more time. So I am just going to keep it again in that purl stitch position, and I'm just going to flip my stitch marker and move it over so that now I have the stitches that I need to do my knit 2 together. And it will all work out in the wash. I promise you, it's going to all work out in the wash. By the time we get to the end of the row, all of the stitches will have moved appropriately and they will be fine. And you'll have 6 rows, 7 rows, 7 rows again where you don't have to move those stitch markers. But it's helpful to know how to just sort of slip and flip those stitch markers when you are working so that you can do this more efficiently. Now, I know that I'm going to do a yarn over, knit 1, 2, 3 times, and then I'm going to do a yarn over, and this time I actually need to do a center double decrease where I am going to slip one knitwise, slip the second one knitwise, and now I'm going to do something similar here. I'm actually going to do the knit 1 through the base of my knit stitch, and then I'm going to take the tip of my needle and put it through that stitch marker, and I'm going to bring it up and over so that I've already knit this stitch properly, and I can grab the 2 stitches that I've already slipped and I can pull them over so that I've done that center double decrease, but my stitch marker is now in the right position where it needs to be. Because if you look at this row here, you'll notice that there is that center double decrease right next to a red line, which means there's probably going to be a stitch marker here, because that's where they go. And yes, if you forget a yarn over, you can always pick one up from the row below and make it work. All right, so here's how we're going to do that again. I'm going to do slip 1, slip 2 knitwise, and now I'm going to once again go through the bottom of this stitch and knit it. I'm going to insert the tip of that needle into the stitch marker and pull it over with the stitch as I move the new stitch off, pop it back in place, and then we're going to slip those 2 slipped stitches over our knit stitch to make the center double decrease. And that is how I have worked my rows so that I can go just that little bit faster but keep my stitch markers intact, because I find that having them really helps me when I am working on this pattern. Oops, sorry. These 2. And I can go a lot faster with my knitting because I'm not struggling with moving my stitch markers. And it works with many different kinds of stitch markers. I mean, you can see I've got kind of the rings in here. This one is that wire type. I've got some more fixed rings up here, but it works with all of them. The key is just making sure that as you are moving things around, you just pay attention to what you're doing. And it does take a little bit of practice. As you do it, you will become more comfortable with moving that stitch marker around. So slip, slip, and then this time I'm going to knit. Oops, that's not a good one. Oh, and there I dropped a stitch. Here's how we fix that if you've dropped a stitch. Just going to place it there, bring it up, And then it was already kind of slipped, but that's okay. I'm just gonna, there we go, through the bottom of that stitch. And then flip my stitch marker back into place. 1 and 2. And that's our center double decrease. So I hope that this makes sense for everybody, that I've thought that seeing this might help if you happen to be working on this pattern. It's a fairly intuitive pattern. Like once you learn it, it's pretty easy to follow along. Oh, except I just did that wrong. Ha! I thought I was at the end of my row. Okay, slip, slip. Knit 1, move my stitch marker, grab my slip stitches. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm at the end of my row, just before my edging. And this one is a little bit different. At the end of the row, we do this slip, slip, knit, and then a yarn over instead of doing the center double decrease right here. So, and that's because we're maintaining this edge. So, all right. 1, just like that. Ta-da! And we've gone all the way across the rows. So that is row 15. Now I can do my return row, row 16. And then I will, again, I'll have 6 repeats done, as you can see along my edge. And again, you can count that because you can count your little triangles on your edge, because that is how this repeat is built. So each one of these triangles is 1 repeat, which is really nice when you are trying to figure out what you've done. So this is your little setup triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this one will be number 6 just as soon as I do my return row. So that is how you work those center double decreases. That's how you deal with having to steal the stitch on each side of the stitch marker, but still maintain your stitch markers. And then as I come across on my next row, I will go ahead and on my next right side row, I'm going to put a stitch marker in right here and build my next repeat out. So this is my next repeat as I move across my pattern, because I want to make sure that I always have my repeats marked so that I don't get lost in my pattern. It's much easier to deal with a mistake in 8 stitches than it is with a mistake in, you know, how many am I up to? Like 50 stitches, 60 stitches. So it's a lot easier to find your mistake when you're looking at smaller multiples versus the entire row. And that is why stitch markers are so important for lace work. So I just want to throw that out there. I had hoped that we could talk about the 3 into 9s, but we're not going to get to that today. So we're going to talk about that next week. And again, next week I'm going to move my lace knit along video to Tuesday instead of Monday, because I am busy on Monday and I'm busy on Wednesday. So I just don't want to, I want to keep going with our knit along, but you know, I have things I have to do. So I want to make sure that you know that I am going to move it to Thursdays, but I will put the videos up on Facebook and YouTube, so you'll be able to find them and catch them if you happen to forget that I've shifted and went to the wrong day. It's the wrong day, people. But I have things to do, so, sometimes that happens. Anyway, all right, I'm going to flip this back around, so hang on just a moment. Hopefully I won't cancel our video. Ooh, good. All right, so having said all of that, put you back in over here. And there we go. All right, so anyway, I hope that you guys have been enjoying the Water Lilies scarf knit along, even if you aren't doing it. It is really fun to watch how the lace grows. Ooh, that's a good shot with the light coming through. You can really see because lace always kind of looks like spaghetti until you block it. But look at the, yes. Look at the lace. Oh, the pretty lace. Anyway, it's always fun to watch somebody working on lace and to see how it grows as you go through the pattern. So anyway, I think it's going to be super fun. Again, we're making this. This is my Water Lily scarf. I'm redoing it because we don't carry this wool elf gradient anymore. And so, I don't know, we have like maybe 2 left in clearance. But anyway, I thought it would be really fun to do it in the handmade and sea silk. I do love the sea silk. Like, it's knitting really nice. It feels really good to knit. And in fact, like, because they're only 16 row repeats, it's pretty easy for me to get through, you know, 8 to 16 rows, which would be a repeat, but like a half a repeat to a full repeat. Even with Ina's been kind of letting me knit. And so I think today I put at least one full repeat in just before her nap, and she was letting me do that, so that was really nice. Anyway, the plan is Wednesday we're talking about spin together. We're going to talk about spinning. We're talking about the group. I should have the Facebook group set up by then. I have a logo. Tell all your friends. You know, and we are not the only group out there, so if our team doesn't look like a good fit for you, there are other teams. We would love to have you on our Black Sheep Voyagers team, but there are other teams out there. And anyway, I think it's gonna be so much fun. So Wednesday we are going to Wednesday we're gonna talk about spinning and spin together and the Black Sheep Voyagers team. And then next week, I'm going to move my videos to Tuesday, Thursday, because again, I have something on Monday and Wednesday, so I gotta shift it. And because I have been having a lot of fun with my hand-spun, hand-dyed, hand-woven scarf, which if you didn't catch it, I did put a picture up on Instagram, on the Black Sheep Instagram. We are going to do another Weaving Wednesday, but it'll be a Weaving Thursday, randomly, I know. Next week, so that I can show you the progress and we can talk about some of the challenges that you face when you're using wool and when you're using hand spun with your weaving and with a rigid heddle loom. So anyway, I want to talk about that and I want to show you my progress because it's been kind of fun. It's been kind of fun. I mean, I only have like 14 inches done, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not a lot because I think I warped 80. So I think I have like 70 total inches that I was trying to go for, and I'm fringing this one this time. We're not going to use the serger, so I'm going to fringe it. So let's talk about fringe too when we get to that point. But the scarf, let's see, so if I have like 14 inches done, and so I've got to do like 56 inches still. Yeah, I have a lot to go. But anyway, that's the plan, is we're going to keep doing our water lily scarf next Tuesday. We're going to do a weaving Thursday next week. And then in 2 days, so this coming Wednesday, we're going to do spinning, but we're going to talk about spin together and what that looks like and what it is. So anyway, that's the plan. And until then, please keep working on your self-care. Make sure that you're posting to social media and telling your friends about it. Because again, I had like less than 10 entries for the prize. So it's pretty easy to win a prize right now. And don't forget that I have all of the really awesome sashiko and embroidery books that came in. It's very exciting. Look at all the books. And we haven't made our order to Japan just yet, but that is going to happen soon. So if there was a kit that you wanted to pre-order, go ahead and get that order in, because it does take like 4 to 6 weeks after we order it for it to come in, because we have to have it shipped from Japan. So, you know, it takes time. Anyway, that's the plan. That's what's happening. Until Wednesday, when we talk about spinning, please take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, craftually. Make sure that you continue to craft as much as you can each day, even if it's only 5 minutes. Just like give yourself that mental break. Makes me feel a lot better when I'm able to do even just a little bit of spinning or a little bit of knitting, a little tatting, a little knotted lace, a little something every day. Really helps my mental health. Anyway, and what else did I want to tell you? Yeah, it's just, we've got like tons of fun things planned. And if you missed the moving sale, which I hope you didn't, because we had 25% off like almost everything, there's going to be another one, another smaller sale, but it's coming in about a month. So anyway, think about that, and I'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. Bye.